Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. Another day. Salon people. And first of all, today is March 14th, 2023. Today is March 14, 2023. It's Tuesday now. Yeah. Yes, it's true. Yesterday we not do message Monday. What it happened, the time zone changed per week. We make a little bit early for Komrikota in London and Kashi. So it's about 9 o'clock their own time in the morning. Normally we making left 5 o'clock morning now. Yeah? Now be like that 10 o'clock time. So we me forget for inform and say, hey, time don't change all the morning, Brian. Get for be a little bit early. So we kind of miss the flow. Cashbox to get a meeting, come recruit and we get for do some runnings here and there. So we miss the because of the time change, I know the world will offend itself now. Time they change all that. But anyways, that is why we're not do a message. Salon people, of course, we still continue again with the messaging, but of course, we get 102 days to elections. Now, I don't cancel 102 days. When I remember we count 600 days, 700 days. Now 102 days, 9 left so to the elections. That's cool. Might be able to go. Might be able to go, but we tell say how might be able to go. Now the concern what we get, we always want to put in a very clear tone. How might be able to go? For talkers, almost say might be able to go at one. But now look at 270,000 names them. We then delete from the voter register. A passive because according to people and within this organization, them institutions, them parastatals, them they say pass 270,000. But again, we they call the government, we they call opposition figures, we they call opposition political parties say, hey, 270,000 names have been deleted from the voter register. So all of these issues that you would on the pound. But of course, with me, I got a brother Africanist press channel about the Africanist press. We can deliberate on several issues then. We can talk about different things them. And Cashbox and Communicator is with me now. You see some people. These are the things so they say. Now we see NEC automatically immediately. They don't move the voter, ID card for pick up on a voter ID card them. They don't move them to April. From where for be March 17, I don't go April. Let's say how the shipping problems and this and that. And Comrekota make a very solid point. So I go make like elaborate on that particular point. Why EB say them push them till April. Salon people, these are the things so they say. 270,000 names then deleted from the voter register. Ying silence. They reduced the population of Freetown, Western, Urban by 42%. The mayor talk him, outgoing mayor Ivana Kisoya. He don't point them out. Nobody know to take up this issue. So the political parties them in the opposition know to take up these issues. Parliament know to take up these issues. Nobody's taking up their matter there. So we they talk them. They say, Manabio go. How Manabio go? If we're not able to make sure say the people them wait for vote, for exercise their franchise, their rights, and able for vote. So these are the things what they say. But some people above all. Of course, we can make sure say it may be, at least once and for all, whatever the case may be, we don't hear it because we therefore can tell our position moving forward. At the end of the day, we start on this now we did so. You see, we already at this platform. We are people where we get principles. And we principles are principles, and we will not be swayed. Nobody no go change with position because principle are principle. What make Africa don't deal like I did like it today is because we got a lot of people within Africa, and particularly so Sierra Leone, they have no principles. It's all about themselves. They're greedy, they're selfish, they don't care about the people where they suffer, they don't care about the masses. All what they do, it's about what they go profit, what they go gain. Now the other day I see a video of an old lady along the Maboroka highway. Where in body he died on the road. God knows what's make that woman they die. All on mommy, you don't carry age. Where the mechanic cancel or put out that video, I'm sure we all don't see them. These are the issues where they bother people like we. When we think of those stories, then we look at them things and it bother we. This is why we have to have leaders. Then we get character.
Abraham, how about this story of we really break my heart the whole of last week? A 20-year-old girl from Lebanon, come back in a salon, Ibrahim, the young Pekin. God knows, comrade say something. How old was she when she went to Lebanon? Ibrahim, these are the burning issues. Why this guy, them people at the left salon, they go to a country where even worse past salon? Why? Desperation.
No, Cassie, the country was the country was fast. The country salon was fast country. Cassie, nobody come say what I could do beside fire. It's not possible. You want to fire you beside water. You see, let me tell you something. Ibrahim, when you talk about the parliament, especially who call on Jericho say if was act, there's one of the defense for running it. Like see one day who don't can people for running it. Like see now business for running it. As you point out the then defense for running it. But you don't run it now. You don't run it. You almighty run it to the one. We in that push important part of Black Bear and IPC. because they no degree for take responsibility. Let me tell you something, Ibrahim. Rigging a process, election, you the winner and loser way before the polling day. Now a dictator, now talk the TIO, Joseph Stanley, he said those who vote decide nothing, those who can't decide everything. This is a dictator, Russian dictator, now talk that all day.
Yep.
He said when they vote, they decide nothing. When they come and decide everything, we don't begin point out next say every commissioner na from SLPP. Not to even forget what Southeast, forget what Bindi, no problem in itself. Now from SLPP, carriers. We started talking about all the things that will happen. Census scam, first in history, for let and see capital city in population less than the province, the district them. No action. At that time, they will say APC no get executive, but they get interim executive and they feds back in front. But we get parliaments when they approve this, and they approve every battery happen. We commodity, we come by registration. Registration, we talk, I'll begin to talk about the NI number, the PR system, everything. They say not possible. When I just fasting this, when I fasting no more because of this, all long come to pass. Now we begin to talk about the 250,000. They still don't go to 270. In fact, they say pass 270,000. Now for collect ID card, they don't push it. If they don't make them push it next month or first month.
Thank you.
That deep inside first month.
Thank you.
People then go to tire because that man deep at fast. You don't go for take ID card, then begin the land. You get for go make sunakati, that person get for sell, the cat in Tanga so naturally force before they don't then go left that's the people are not take. Because the first month and the time you know they work together.
Absolutely.
Till no day, people are not get money. So that person get for go drag. As a people are go drag by a rip and fast, land no come here. By the time don't do. So the time they fly and they need to extend them. So all this process so don't go don't give. Order for fetch for them. Order for talker. Then they pay foolishness. We talk and say, hey, for because you know let's all run in business. Let me tell you something. Me, na a party person. But we person listen statement as Sister Lou is bigger than any political party. You know, a big party, me, you, Chernobyl or Cashbox or any individual person. Me, I drive myself somebody possibly put the country interest first. I know they support anybody. We may not convince you get leadership for let me support you for any reason. And
come with Ibrahim and Chino. I want to make something very, very clear. Now, the one that we say we be the fed Cherry Coco for running mate. Thank God you don't get her now. As Ibrahim, you say principle. Let me make something very clear. Chino, Cherry Coco, we don't invite them now this platform past almost him. So that tells you we be always get like an open book for everybody for come na this platform, make it can talk about himself and talk about the country. So like I just want to make this clear so people are going to say.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The for APC make a decision for Tuesday and running mates is up to them. But we will make a position very clear. We'll give them the reason why. It's up to them. Whatever decision they make, therefore no say this election is not about even APC. It's about the people of Sierra Leone, the greater majority. Cashbox, people from this far east, far south, far north, far they suffer. They want to change, but change not to like foreseen our weather. We net can pop and do the clean, changing the process. When I go for look how they get the change, this opportunity don't limit. That's not to concern. We concern is people who responsibility. We for let me tell you something, Cashbox. SLPP them only campaign against APC. We APC are going for 10 years. Na corruption. They say APC thief. Now we couldn't for make the able for ascertain the allegation against APC. Then called CUI. They begin chase with former ministers, including former president, everybody. Then that and would not get the Africanist press not digging the corruption, digging under SLPP this 5 years. Evidence of imagine we Africanist presidents saying just 25% of the thief now so that 25% the parliament cannot do position not capitalize on them. Now make Radu Swarigu na television see the Tunis, they say they corrupt they pass MCC every day, time and again they pass civil liberty, they pass political rights in as much as they kill people. In as much as they jail people still they pass civil liberty, political rights. Could they make government the one local government bad? Now the opposition responsibility, checks and balance, they for do and the members of parliament na for push up. They go see again after we the tap and finance minister. You don't look MC will pass Ghana there. Then go pass there. We be say the MP even talk say the Ghana finance minister na like Magua of Manchester United. He make a phone because they serious. They mean business. They come out of parliament. They make press conference for me. The position clear. We talk people and take let me tell you something. This saloon business they not even tribalize them. Then they told us they don't even tribalize. Even Chapman win a fuller Then talk at the me if I get full connection and talk and see we're not connected. Let me tell something cash works. Me nobody they make or miss or lose your thought. It will stand so not that because we stand is about the people of Sierra Leone, not to individual person. Let me tell you something. Then Oduso the election now. I receive them all. Because one day, someday they will remember them talk here. Because if we're not sincere for say the truth, we begin clap for people and go free for clap. Well, now we get better finger and the blood not come out. That's not the truth, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
How do we election? Which way?
Absolutely.
Everything for the matter you go is clear. But now how? Ibrahim, if you know to drive, like then go take limousine and can't give you. You know go drive the but can I go party rotting? I didn't go party rotting. Elections, all man don't show the people and also say they're ready for police government. They don't show their desperation. The people and also their willingness. But the people who make the thing can to act action. Now in they see the carelessness. Carelessly, people feel saying I hate with people. We don't hit nobody ambition. Who like you, who not like you, who think God make for you, it get her, you the richly. But we, your own conscience, we put our country first above everything.
Absolutely. You know, so it goes back with everything we're saying. They like it today. Look with brothers and sisters them. Look what's happening in Lebanon, where we sister and go burn them in the Lebanese country. You know, comrade, I understand when you say, you know, Salon is difficult past then country, but I can only wish, you know, we able to get a government who will come and make sure so they do the right things for the people of that country Ibrahim. To empower
Guinea,
them.
No go far. Guinea. Mama did be a military leader. Wait to this at the beginning is paper Africa people. If life is fly plane and go. Take all the people.
Right.
We Lebanon, you don't go to Lebanon. How many say if that blast be happen in Lebanon, we salon stand and cry, you don't go there, we go do medical. One day, you know, take safety, buy ticket for one person. One
right. Not to all things like this opposition them for come up with. Not to think in this opposition responsibility to say, hey, listen, what do we for do, Mr. President? Let us go. Who that for do? I'm now we in a social media number for the talk. We not get opposition leaders them within parliament for step on the toe of the government and say, listen, we sisters and brothers in the suffer na Middle Eastern countries them. Let's go repatriate them. Mr. President, all day you fly private jet. Why will not go charter a plane? Who that for do? Not to opposition, not to from within the parliament. Then kind of batin and they for come out. Within a parliament they role. Not to for represent the people. These are the things we say, and these are the principles that we will continue to stand by and we will stand with. But you know, we get Brother Chino of the Africanist Press with we. Brother Chino, just tell family I do real quick. Let your voice and they will bring you back in.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me come today again, and I really appreciate the fact that you guys are still committed to Sierra Leone and on a persistent and a commitment so wonderful. I'm very happy for there and family on a morning on a do.
Absolutely, thank you, my brother. You know, Brother Chen above the Africanist Press, you're one Sierra Leonean we people get so much respect for globally. The only people, if you not like Brother Chen above the Africanist Press, it means you're not patriotic to your nation. It means you're not like Salon. It means that you know to think about the future of your country. It means that you know to think about the potential we Salon get. It means you know to think about them picking them where they sick, when they get access to healthcare. It means you know to think about them picking them where they get small so food they rot in tea, the bone begin come out. It then at them village, they don't get access to proper healthcare. Now the only people that don't like Brother Chino of the Africanist Press. Because the job with Brother Chino of the Africanist Press that they do over the years, it's a noble job. It is a patriotic job. How many people they make that much sacrifice for their country, for their beloved country? We get people in positions of authority we're supposed to make the job of the Africanist Press come to life. This President Bio, when he was in opposition, President Bio was using the publications of the Africanist Press to campaign against the APC as a political party. President Bio used Africanist Press in publications, but sadly enough, you have people within APC party now. APC party, when Brother Chino of the Africanist Press, they give them all the data, every information where they need for get rid of Marabio. We will all say, okay, Marabio for go. Every information for 5 years of the APC, the kind of work with Brother Chino of the Africanist Press do for Sierra Leone, for lay the evidence, open goal for the members of parliament, particularly so, we get the oversight responsibility. Some people don't listen. Parliaments get 3 responsibilities. The first one are for represent the people. The second one are oversight responsibilities. You know, and the third one now for ensure say, you know, they make laws in the nation. That is the fundamental one. So section 105 of the Constitution makes it very clear that Parliament is the supreme legislative authority. So Parliament get the authority, the most important one, for make laws. for represent the people and for make sure say they oversight their responsibility of oversight for go and check that a responsibility Dandy. When we come to now we talk from a place of patriotism. We know they come because now my brother they and we always talk brother Chinoba, even though they go inside in there, but look he's fuller. People they call him when everyone message or play when they call and they call him mama. In China, full person they call China bar of the Africanist press. They call him because China bar they pull press, publication after publication where they expose the thievery of President Bio. And they say, "But look, China or Honorable Cheriko, salon they suffer, people they suffer, teacher not they get paid, police not they get paid, soldier not they get paid. Cheriko, look the evidence, look the president here WEF, look that they buy furniture yanda, look that they take $7 million yanda, look that they take $8 million yanda, Pampa DM, look the money in them."
Ibrahim, if you remember on Thursday when we had Chernobyl, I asked him a question how it feel with all in publications them we don't make over the years, how it feel where it be say like nobody, no arata, no they come and kind of like say, okay, let we kind of like go back and check what's in this man they say. Like what you they say, like the three responsibilities where they get. Now for like defend the people, oversight, and also make laws. Where is the oversight now? Yeah, with everything, Ibrahim. I remember when China, the Africanist press begin pull all lens in the air. When the SMPP they come and talk like all kinds of things, oh, the lie, but we didn't see the day. I remember doing an audio where I say, okay, as a government, you get the right for protect the image, the brand name Salon. If una they say it a lie pa una get embassy in America. China bano hide usai ide. It tell una say na American ide. You get a responsibility, Ibrahim. You remember few weeks ago, somebody there we want to tarnish your name. You come out and say if you don't come and prove them, like at the case you go to court. It is the same thing where I tell people and say if una say at the Africanist press they make up story against Tuna. This way the people we get responsibility with country. We don't need anybody where they kind of like say where they make up story against me. If una not say if una really truly believe say is making up story, una can go court. I remember that was my first audio about the Africanist press, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
Now I'll tell you one thing. Now it's not only about the government. For the fact that Parliament cannot do that and oversight, which is part of their responsibilities, one of their core responsibilities being in Parliament, then it means Manabio, Jaikoko, all the parliamentarians then, they need for kind of like prove Chernobyl right or wrong. They get a responsibility right now for prove I'm right or wrong. Absolutely. And like what you say, so this is not me. For me, like today's message is about telling people our position because we're principle-based people in this platform, Ibrahim. Now for tell Salon people and say, like for me, and I believe I will speak on you guys' behalf, like our message is going to change. It's about societal issues, as you say, Ibrahim. If I can borrow your word where you use, like in the background, just now.
Yeah.
Going forward, it's about the people. It's about sensitizing what we've been doing all this while. Even though when we were talking about Cheriko, it's for people to be sensitized and know, like we position and know the right, the responsibility of they have like the parliamentarians, them, why they're voted for and go represent we. They are representatives.
Absolutely.
They're representatives. Ibrahim, going forward, we know the kind of, we know the put, we know the pool. But, China was kind of like come and then, because China said something in the background.
Absolutely.
Really like, I want to make it come out from because, it is crucial.
Right.
The next step, Salon, Ibrahim, it damaged, not because of politicians, now because of we the people, and we don't condone the politicians. They make Salon de la carry this.
Yes, a lot of, and sadly enough, most people are the diaspora and they condone this foolishness because, they again, it goes to selfishness. But Brother Chanoba, you Cashbox mentioned something just now. The letter where you write to the parliament, of course, the parliamentary leader, who is now the running mate for the APC, they don't ever respond to you. The secretary don't respond to you, Brother Chanoba, from where you write a letter with Honorable Lahai Mara say, what you publish, what you bring out, say, trust you, what you publish. They don't ever respond to you, the Secretariat of the APC?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's a very important question. Make I just emphasize, I think a couple of things I want to just follow up before we come to that issue. Now, Comrade Koita talk about the question of running mate. Of course, the decision for any political party, and that be SLPP, APC, for elect members of their own party, not their own decision. It's the decision of their own parties. So that is to say, the party, as I've been saying the last time, where Cashbox will ask me how will they feel when they publish, my role as a journalist will continue. We don't publish the Africanist Press for over 20 years now. The history of publications dates way back before Ernest Koroma became president. We write in the days of Tijan Kaba. We continue the same kind of writing in the days of Ernest Koroma's government. We commodity the last 5 years. You know, we talk about corruption as alone under Madabio in other friends, the Africanist Press. Absolutely. And a source of reference. Now, on the question of running mate, make myself add me for SD. Cherry Coco don't be running mate before. In 2018, Cherry Coco was not only one of the leaders of parliament, was a deputy leader by 2018. Was deputy leader of the House of Parliament under the APC government of Ernest Koroma. Before that, he did not hold several other positions in the parliament. Nobody now ever write about or talk about him. Then in 2018, the party decided for select him and impose him along with the presidential candidate according to the party at the displeasure of other people in the party. The party decided for contest. So basically, Cherry Coco, the appointed as running mate, not a new thing. He was already the running mate of the party in 2018 when the party lost the election in 2018. The same ticket when they lost the election in 2018. So nobody was saying Cherry Coco for be running. He was already running mate. So the BUA be running mate again, not a new role in the play for the APC, like a role we don't play in 2018. Now that's the one for established. So absolutely. Not a new position, Cherry Coco be one for then at the APC, with the opposer. For we, in fact, we can find out, say, waiting we discover that the conflict in the party will make the party not able to take on the parliament, not able to take on the opposition at parliament, able to take on the responsibility for protect the democracy, protect the finances of Sierra Leone, take on the issues of corruption, where Madabio say the fight and the failure of the opposition, but play the role of an opposition because of the hidden flag bearer ambition of Cherry Coco himself. We talk about that one day. Now, much of that one they don't fail to the point that the APC, even for make a running mate, then drag till and impose her now for being a running mate. So that I give it. So basically, the one day we be the talk say that the fair Cherry Coco because one be running mate, then we try to hide the fact that Cherry Coco was a hidden flag bearer. He had a hidden flag bearer intention, not only hidden flag bearer intention. He built a movement within the APC where he fight for being a flag bearer by working for cover up the corruption of BU and accuse every other person within the party where potentially get leadership ambition of corruption, excluding the parliamentary leader of the party. In several discussions in the course of the last 1 year, beginning in June now, I don't talk about how we could talk about corruption under Ernest Koroma in government in the last 10 years. We forget about the parliamentary leader of the deputy parliamentary leader of the party, the deputy speaker of the party at the time. Yeah. Cherry Coco was deputy speaker of parliament, leading up in the second term of Ernest Koroma. On the eve of election, irresponsible. It is part of the parliament passed one of the most dangerous elections we can't even talk about, even during the campaign in 2018. Right. So what are they trying to say for start with that one day? The people who talk say that the people them like the beef Cherry Coco, the beef Cherry Coco as a deputy flag bearer, and people will not remember history in recent time. Yeah. Now this brings me to the question of the Africanist press. Why the opposition at parliament combined from the NGC, the C4C, and the APC not able to take on the question of corruption? Why members of the APC in Parliament, Honorable Haimara, under the leadership of Cherry Coco, decide to challenge the evidence where nobody able to challenge on corruption with the Africanist press published? Right. Now the fact that we publication them in the obstruct Cherry Coco their agenda, which is then one for make Madabio accuse everybody in the APC of being corrupt, so it will left in one as the only supposedly non-corrupt individual. Basically, Cherry Coco then work with Madabio and the institutions for enhancing their own agenda. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we see in the retention of Cherry Cocoa is not a surprising thing. Now, what we call a class, what we don't define as a class peace, where the politicians across parties don't take the country as by turn, where this group can, they loot for 10 years, the other group can, they self loot for 10 years, then they exchange the loot, then allow the other one. That is how the country has been running. What will make the difference? In this age of new media, people that get Twitter, get Facebook, get audios, WhatsApp, and all these social media handles, ordinary people don't become citizen journalists. Ordinary people don't become citizen journalists. Journalists also don't get assistance, new innovative techniques. So collectively, in these last 5 years, what we don't do, we basically expose the underbelly of Australian society. Absolutely. The foundation of corruption, we don't hold the country back. And the elite networks will not hold the country back for the last 5 years. So among themselves, they fight every time. Inter-party fight for leadership, fight for flag bearer. I will not describe as a stakeholder politics in Sierra Leone. It's not about progress, it's about everybody bargaining for getting your share. So, and in the interest of bargaining for your share, they don't care about, they talk, say, hey, we are from this tribe, we are from this tribe, but the politicians do not care about the ethnic groups. Make a talk on today. When I begin publish about corruption, that's alone, I begin publish by February 2021, where I write the first 2 articles on Fatima Bio. When Fatima Bio say we are angry about jobs, the people that come for saying they bribe me, say that Fatima Bio don't send them for bribe me, they are businessmen from the Fula community who are tied to Cherry Cocoa. Now they can't say that they offer me. In fact, one of them in Canada, the other one they Freetown, they make 3-way line. They may even involve another person from Saudi Arabia, where they support them. But I was surprised because I know them people there as APC people there. So I asked them, how when APC people then go to say Fatima Bio said when I come compromise, say when I don't negotiate on my behalf. Actually, I said when I happy how the country day. In fact, for cut the word short, 2 hours after when they talk with me, now they have published the 3rd article where I call Trade in Gender Violence, where I show more evidence of Fatima Bio writing letters for collect money. So basically, the people when they talk about ethnicity, this is why when it comes to the question of the nation, when it comes to the question of the interest of the country, we therefore able to see the country and the people that interest beyond ethnic lines. If there are people they want, I get evidence of a conversation, I have their names, and I will in more than any other time for list their names again, make them see them. Why are they saying this? Labotok say, we are not against an ethnic group. We are not against an ethnic politician, not a full politician, me they against. In the last 20 years, what all right? Find any article that's against Tim Liman, I write about people and institutions and the processes we evolve in corruption, bad governance, human rights violations across parties, across parties and across time. So why are they saying this? The people who come for bribe me, they're not going to try for bribe me because then they try to protect fuller people like interest. No. As a matter of fact, they try to protect their own business interest, their own corrupt relationship with the politicians where they thief money and give them for keep. Many of these people, I tell you, have diplomatic passports given to them by the very politicians where they help them, when they help for thief. Wow. The ordinary people in the street, when they use to say that we ethnic group they represent, then they catch hell, then they suffer from commodity prices where they increase the corruption, the bad, and they suffer from hardship. Then people have to make money for themselves. They know. So now after we then try for bribe me, they're not able, then what you play audio there, where somebody from the Fula community say me they die in exile. Not to under APC or not to under some people. Why? Because the APC politicians they are supporting are in bed with the regime, Madabio. Yeah. They've already bargained to allow Madabio a second time. We've said this over and over. So now we don't come to this point. The question then becomes, if the APC supports corruption, or a section of the APC, where this vie for a new leadership supports corruption, and Madabio's regime is shown to have this level of corruption, what is the message that the people of Sierra Leone will have as an alternative? Especially so when you get a ticket that has the deputy, what you call the aspirational vice president of a supposedly alternative party. We don't. The running mate. Yes, the running mate. We don't condone corruption, sit on the parliament, allow the disenfranchisement of Sierra Leoneans, help for pass laws, them for bring true currency in the country. What will meanwhile for the no voting Cherry Coco will campaign against Madabio? Because you don't go able to talk, Cherry Coco no go able to talk say Madabio na one great pass the currency law na Salome introduced two currency. No. The parliament pattern. They don't go able to talk say na Madabio pass the law alone for the cyber legislation. Cherry Coco are involved. They don't go talk say all of these other policies and bad things, from laws to agreements, we don't enhance corruption from the airport and all of that, many of them. Where will he campaign? Now put Cherry Coco and put Jewel there on the stage, they made a debate, vice presidential debate. Yeah. What are the issues they will be arguing about?
Thank you.
What did Cherry Coco go ask, say against Jewel Jallo? Okay, yes, we agree. They are all our brothers from the same Fula community. Now put them on stage. What is the difference between these two politicians? One day in a parliament, as a parliamentary leader, we're not able to talk about over 250,000 Sierra Leoneans who've been deleted from the record. We're able to talk about ECSL stealing open broad daylight, over $10 million we for use for buying machines for register. Not accusation, the evidence is there. We're not able for where businessman were connected to them come to me. Now we get to know that issue was not coincidental. Where you drill them down. Now because they find out say the publication of the Africanist press, they actually disabled the COI, which they were using as a weapon against their own colleague opposition. So the danger here, the collective danger that we face, is this political class. Madabio is as dangerous as Cherry Coco in parliament. Collectively, we cannot talk about or review the misperformance and the danger of Madabio without talking about the parliamentary leadership in the opposition across parties. We're not going to repeat this over and over. The question then is, what are the difference between these two groups as they face the elections? You put them on the stage, put Cherry Coco on the stage and put Madabio on the stage. What will be the difference between how you will accuse Madabio as irresponsible for all of the crimes? When you don't go to ECOWAS at some point, you don't even talk to Sierra Leone is peaceful. At the ECOWAS Parliament, he said that. On the second leg of ECOWAS Parliament, you don't even attend or write a report for glorify the current objective conditions, including the human rights situation and aspects of corruption and all of that. Many more. When they carry on. Empty cash box. Now, for talk say the question of running mate is not an issue. In the final analysis, the APC was going to go into an election. And the APC will definitely get for choose. What in delay the APC not choosing now? Because when the institutions of the state, Fisher, who is a friend of Cherry Coco, dismantled the party, would have even killed the party, Cherry Coco. Then basically, these people, the politicians, have collectively bargained against the national interest. Why? Because they want to uphold the culture of corruption. They want to uphold a kleptocracy, a government where people lose money, keep money, and hide money, and decide to protect each other, and then pretend to the people that they are committed to the country that they are not. So we have to make them things that are clear. We knew that towards
Chino, just 1 second. I just want to say something quickly. You know the ironical thing, Comrade make reference of the debate or like the discussion we didn't get that AYV yesterday with this Dr. Kande, CDI Tunis and the Information Minister, Mohamed Swari or so. One thing I'm not able to understand now where like Mohamed Swari was talking about the apparent gain where they don't achieve in terms of like the MCC, the human rights record, the libel thing where they kind of like remove and all that thing in there. But yet still you get people within the APC where they talk, say, hey, the information guy they lie for we. This is the information minister, they're gonna go pay up. They lie. Look how people they die. Look how people they kill people in that country. Look how they jail people in that country. But yet still, they talk to the information minister, they lie you. But when they tell we once, who send parliament Mustem Cherry Coco come and say, hey, Mr. Minister, the reason why they guy they pass all lengths in there, it is because like the people that went for talk, went for expose them, are not exposing them. China, how many things you don't pull corruption cases them? Almost like the team where they don't thief and all that in a day. But yet still, this government get 86% in the fight against corruption. But yet still, they talk to the information minister they lie, but they cannot ask Cherry Coco why Cherry Coco they talk today. But again, this is not just for me, it's a closure about the running mate, about the Cherry Coco issue. Now, for that people like kind of like no say these messages will be used for like as a testimonial going forward, because that is going to be like like a record where people are going to say we have principles and we're going to stand with waiting right. We're not to follow as them. You said something the last time, Chino. You say like I think the truth not require crowd. Or something like that along the line. You say the truth don't require a crowd. And that's exactly what we stand for. We are going to, people where realistically supposed to see them things they are, able to assess them things they are. Politicians are wicked in that country. Because they know, hey, they don't want to make people like we survive. The wicked politicians do not want us to survive. They do not want us to survive. Because they don't say it would not be business as usual. You know that.
The fact is, no matter what happen, we know say matter be go. APC go win the elections, but the fact of the matter remains we are still going to talk about these issues where they affect Salon de Leke today. We continue de Leke so with all the sufferings that is currently going on. That is what Cashbox is saying there. We don't say APC they win the election, matter be go. Then they all hungry, but how they go is the concern and the question we'll get. Now we can deliberate on this issue. For the very last time, because we know see a lot of people. Hey, Brian, what do you not think about this? Hey, Cheroba, come record Cashbox. What do you not think about this? But they tell you around exactly what we feel and how we feel. Because again, Sierra Leone, if you get for go before. We get for left ideology of the pauperanista business when they that country. How SLPP came with a pauper mentality and attitude. They like today we see they're ready for call out their own political party. The SLPP, everybody they keep quiet with all the wrong things that they're doing. So that's what the APC get for their back. Where APC they do wrong, people not for talk them. They say all. So how Salon get for them?
Ibrahim, when you talk about power pass away, there's something you just can't be aid. How a democratic country to encourage the word pauper? How does pauper connect with democracy?
Good question, my brother. But Bracheno, you are actually connecting the dots now.
I want to just add one more thing to what you say. Yes, indeed, we write a letter to the parliamentary leader of the opposition after Willa Haimara talk about challenge, defend Madabio in corruption, say Madabio not corrupt. And what we write about Madabio and corruption, things say get the basis. So we ask her, may show we which article will we publish where it also say lacking in evidence. They don't reply. They don't mention, and we don't write the secretariat because we don't get new leadership. We still await a response. But the reason why they cannot take on the issues of corruption, like you say, because the politics they themselves are soaked in the desire to loot public fund. Because the moment you begin to take on corruption issues, it means you show a commitment to fighting corruption with power.
But I try a lot of Creole proper par inside in the you talk to.
They say that the reason why I don't go talk about the corruption we don't publish, because if they have kind of power, then go be beholden to that. Because one of the things where we hold Madabio to, now we Madabio say we can go for fight corruption. We put on a manifesto. It could be, it will maintain a zero, it will wage a war against corruption. Now we show evidence, we challenge that in particular commitment to fighting corruption and say not honest. So people like Cherry Coco then see that one day, and they've just been in power, and they've been accused of corruption. So they're not going to challenge that kind of corruption. And then because they will be under obligation for also fight corruption if they come. And the desire, not just for protect the corrupt and protect stolen wealth, but for also loot public wealth when they can have power. That the whole idea of politics is about stealing.
Absolutely.
It's about theft. Now, this is not Hamburg country where make people really able for stand on the correct question and always they exploit the ethnic sentiment, the ethnic support.
The tribalism support.
The tribalism. Then they exploit. exploit sentiment of tribes, of ethnic groups for enhance their own agenda, when in actual fact they don't represent the interests of these ethnic communities. Because you, businessman, where they participate in the racket of public wealth, you willing for bribe a journalist $1 million because we continue for publish, you go hamburg with your own agenda for use corruption for eliminate other people, and so when a young politician go there ahead. That is what they that don't hamburg the country. So we will wait for see, the way they say, Madabio, they go. The fact of the matter is that they don't turn the country into a clique, into an enterprise, like a bargain, where they everybody get your own turn. Now they want their own turn. They be the lighter, they say the international community, they want Madabio for them. And at 10 years, they don't agree at 10 years. Now, even if the Sierra Leonean public want Madabio for go, who are the leaders? When the leaders in a parliament do not sit until they allow, they use NIN, use proportional representation, use bad laws and then processes for prevent them from register, delete the name them from the register. What do the leaders they say? They're not defend them because actively they go down say, okay, we're not allow we, we're not left for harassment for so-called corruption, we're not say continue for TIF, we're not turn down, we say can. That is what they are trying to do. So now the ordinary people then are they at the mercy of ordinary citizens, and they are at the mercy of them politicians, because they dance for them and they clap for them, and they celebrate the thief in the thief.
Right.
So that's some of them we live on the line. We all day against dictatorship. We've done so much work for expose Madabio and the hypocrisy of the Bio regime. Here we are with the politicians. Few of the politicians who are committed to fighting corruption, fighting for people's rights, are being held hostage by their own colleagues and forced to accept agreements and deals. Because that is what we've just seen with the APC.
Right.
A negotiation in compromise.
Absolutely.
Compromise negotiation so that they will say, okay, make we bargain. They agree among themselves against the national interest. So the question is, even if we want change in the country, how is that change going to come about with these corrupt individuals not willing to change, not willing to give up their own desire for loot public money? So when you look at Madabio, not they against Madabio or what Madabio they do, then they against the fact say not that they in charge of what Madabio they do.
Right.
Now that's the whole thing. What the APC is showing, or their politicians have shown from Parliament to now, is basically the fact say then the guy you say. Now ordinary people they vex, they don't say Madabio, they lie, they don't say this, they are the thief. The politicians the way that they support, then they against the theft of public money, then they against the fact that not them deep and thief right now.
Yeah.
The young turn not reach it. If not the young turn
jealousy, now jealousy business. Because as long as
we were in the court so now then vex power we the inside the supporters against it because we didn't make it difficult for them so that we then can't
absolutely.
They will participate in the same thing. That make them there against it. They make an APC supporter, opposition supporter will tell somebody when they hold a government accountable, say, Canada, this country, I will die in exile.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because you don't take and say, if you can't, a problem, not just for them, it will be a problem for you tomorrow.
Yes.
If you don't be a problem for me yesterday, it will be a problem for this person, a problem for APC in the past.
Absolutely.
A problem for SLPP today. If APC can have power tomorrow, there will be a problem for me. So we'll go for them.
Yeah.
We forfeit. We not allow Africanist people for
politics is an institution now. Politics is this institution, the fastest way, like a political industry, like where they make money. And you really feel say they want we amongst them near themselves. They don't want it. Like when we talk about like the things same way for make like then we go take debt, local and develop a country. They not say if we go take debt, we will watch like whose side of money they be spent. You really feel say they want people like we near them.
I talk now what one of us showed the other time. I say we get opposition within the opposition. Then I also say Madabio very unpopular. In the free and fair contest. And what you try for do, you try to get the opposition within the opposition for help and for rogue the election. So I say two things need to happen. One of those things is forget an opposition candidate who is willing and ready for win the election. They will definitely beat Madabio. But now that don't happen, we get an opposition candidate who is under attack, accused, attacked by EU party and by people outside of your own party. But what did not happen? The opposition, within the opposition, don't hold a hostage. Don't clap your own foot there now. Say if you go, now where you go. So what did they do? It's just that you want to go, they put clay at your foot. So that's what Samura Kamara has gotten by having Jerry Koko as a running mate, who has shown every determination to keep Madabio in power. If the APC no one for recognize that they are failing to understand how they are going to lose the elections. If they will lose the elections, that's how they will lose it. In the first place, they have a presidential candidate where they're all at the party, so most of them will support Jerry Koko, including Jerry Koko, not be one as the flag bearer of the party. That's the reality that they are trying to avoid. Now, they don't take the mandate for be flag bearer. What do they say? If they go past, you get for go Jerry Koko by force. And the same ticket back that we get the last time.
Right.
In the past, if you ask APC people, they know say in the past 1, 2, 3 years, Samura Kamara and Jerry Koko have not been working together. So if even they end up taking power from Madabio, what are you going to have? An unhealthy leadership in the country. And the it will be worse. It will be worse than Eskroma and Samsumana.
Exactly.
And Eskroma and Samsumana never had they never had the animosity that Jerry Koko and they don't get the Cold War we exist between Jerry Koko and Samsumana. The Cold War between Eskroma and Samsumana only happen when they are in power, and this very subaltern element, this very junior ranking elements within the party that then cause that. Now they are seizing the half of the party, and half of the they don't hold the party in neck, take hand on a foot, then they left the head, then they squeeze the head now. So this is basically what you have. The APC is a captured entity, the same way the state of Sierra Leone has been captured. So leading up into these elections, we get two evils on the same scale. That's the reality. We have to call out them here. And what has caused this? Corruption.
Absolutely.
Theft of public funds in the past, the ongoing theft of public funds today, and the imagination of a group of people who want to participate in the theft of public funds in the future. The country, now they suffer. People they don't thief money today, yesterday. They continue for thief money today, join the one with the thief, and they also prepare for thief money tomorrow, thief public money. So they are against our effort to point out this and expose them to us so that people will come now, will get a conscience and begin address these issues. We don't have bug development as alone. Now we did the try to turn enemies. But the fact of the matter, we talked a few days ago, regardless of the situation as Sierra Leone, we've been there in the past. We are here today. We will continue to be here to expose some of these ongoing theft of public funds.
Absolutely.
It is not going to continue forever.
Absolutely.
Because when the election happened June, it come on the way the people are not want to how it come on. The very politicians, the way don't gang up against people, that they for being the first casualties. That the people that will be the first casualties of this coup where they don't make against the national interest of Sierra Leone.
Absolutely.
So it's good for me we state this, and we no need to get any regret for a constant position against bad politicians and the injustices as alone. Our effort for point say there's no difference between Jerry Koko and Madabio because they all fail to uphold the constitution and the constitutional values and virtues of a society.
Absolutely.
We're not going to regret for do that. Even if it's good for maintain that position now, because if Samura Kamara ends up being the president, it ends up being worse than Madabio. With a position today, now for continuing to the future. So do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to stand on the question of truth, even if you are alone, because in the final analysis, the truth and your own power will be the final thing.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to, it's not just about winning the election. What kind of government are we going to have? Do you want a government that's going to be worse than Madabio, more than just because a party where the support or a politician will come up from your own ethnic group? No, we want betterment for Sierra Leone.
46.
And that,
for the 6 the party in the power, they will give me one bag rest and 10,000. Why add up and they go to politician?
They will give Evangelist Samson one bag rest and but now where is Evangelist Samson?
Thank you.
His wife, widow, his child is an orphan. The very politician will give one bag rest and will say, who said them there? Then they look after him begin today.
They went somewhere they could have defended him. His death. What did they do?
You know, it's sad when I listen to City Tunis, Kashi, to that point where you make so, brother China. City Tunis, they talk say how the people na Salon get machete, they get gone. You know, and then the leader of the opposition gets an opportunity. Honorable Cherikoko get an opportunity for say, hey, but not like me people there.
We're not reducing title. The running mate.
The running mate.
Yeah.
Where this man in parliament and not performing job responsibility. Now we promote her to the next level. This is the equivalence of everybody in a salon. Just go show up now your workplace no more. You pass day quick. Where they ask for you, they say, but not see him. But you continue to get salary, you continue to get pay, you not lost your job. Then they promote you back to the next rank up. Now any job where you inside Sierra Leone. That is what I want to think about with this whole thing here. So, you know, this is the country we'll get. We know they hold people in positions of authority. We don't hold them to account. We don't hold them to book. Is that the kind of society where we not trying to salon? And brother Chino, but you say something just now talking about Africanist press. We're very important and very crucial for people. It's about folks on social media where they batter, they kill themselves, they fight for these politicians. It's about time when I say when I begin reflect. What are they fight for? Then people are they fight for. Then they fight for me. Then they team up for me. So the people therefore begin think about these things because your protection matters. Evangelism is lost in life, and that's why he left. If you don't like it today, then chase you.
What did they talk to? I start full eye. May God forbid if Madabio win this election back. May God not answer that talking. If he win this election back, you know how the life of the young man they're not gonna forget job. They wasted on this, so they've rendered unemployed for the rest of like Madabio in time.
Absolutely.
Ibrahim, it's dangerous. Waiting with a groom son a salon. Now I tell China Jishno, these politicians do not want to make we survive, or they don't even want people in the salon forget this idea or mindset where we don't get to. They don't want to make they go near themselves because they know say it will be the end of like the political echelon. They don't know they don't want that, Ibrahim.
No.
See, they don't want tomorrow. Selfish what's a man.
You know, Kashi, Boracheno and Komrikoita, the fact of the matter remains, you know, of course, you go for your messages of, hey, well, everybody wanna come together now. We don't get flag bearer now. We don't get running mates. No, come, go win this election. I agree.
Yeah.
We all agree. Yes, we don't get flag bearer APC for go win this election, but we ask again, how want they win this election? Yeah, so, and we continue to point out these issues. If the people want to put in front, because we hold on this one now. We they watch for see the kind of a campaign messages them where the flag bearer and the running mates get for the push across the country. We want you read the messages them like how we say when I put China Bar, Cherry Coco, and when I put Jude Jallo. You know,
maybe on the upside, Cherry Coco was waiting for me can tell we all the secrets that we don't get out of parliament over the 5 years. Maybe it's they come and pull out release them for we.
Will they wait for see? That would be a turn in the right direction. Salon people go appreciate that. We all go appreciate that because moving into the election, so we get for pull close and pull strength now. Now we get for look up to people like Cherry Coco, whose message you get for sell for we. That message they will sell for we say, oh, that's what the leader don't talk. The flag bearer, the running mates.
Only thing that we don't find out in parliament, maybe they can't release until we now. Maybe they can't release until we now.
It got for hits the campaign ground, you know, stomping. But this is all we're saying. Salon people, we have to hold people accountable. This everything we talk now is based on principles alone by itself. Yes, we want the APC win. Nobody they want to be on the side of the APC. At the time when the APC nobody gets a constituted body, now we this way hold the ground, we hold the force. But APC is full now. You know, so at the end of the day, Salon people, the party don't make a decision. When the party making decision, now the party in decision. We not get no power for say anything, not so that we ever talk about as far as running mates. We just say we're going to hold people accountable for their job responsibilities. Brother Chenoba of the Africanist press, it make them very clear, time after time again, brother, they publish after the other. Hey, boy, anybody will like Salon, boy, yourself, boy, you not go look the publications of the Africanist press. You take and make other thing. You know, but Salon people, we say we can't talk to on this one today. We'll not lose hope. We'll continue, we'll keep hope alive. Lord continue for remind this government of waiting actually the opposition leaders them both in parliament and the secretariat of the APC. Lord continue for remind them for ensure say, you know, at least Then 270,000 names that have been deleted from the voter register. That 42% would reduce the Western urban population by. Then over 700,000 young adults then we for turn 18 by June 24th. We're not able for register. Let we make sure say we able to get them people there for register at the end of the day. That is very crucial, and I don't think I'll get for continue for talk about, because if Marabio get for win, regardless of the fact that they don't pick a running mate now inside the APC party, if Marabio get for go, if they get for lost the elections, the fact of the matter remains, we get for ensure say we bring out these issues so we go address them. I don't think so. We want to go on and on with this message. At least we will make a point very clear. Moving forward, young man and young woman on social media, the politics is so corrupt. We have to be very, very careful. How now they pull close, how now they pull trank, how now they support these politicians that are today, because you never know who is who. You never know what is what. Because some of the people that will trust like today, what would expect say these people go make better leaders, we don't begin to see how they go. And this kind of a direction when they go, so we have to be very careful with people. That is all we can say. But I'll continue for listening to waiting and get for say moving forward in the campaign scale, going into this election here, so, and I think we'll go take them from there. But Salon, we get for ensure say we stand on principles and values, and our principles and values we not go waver. We know the shake. Usai with team up and wait with team up. We will continue for stand on them. Now this because of Sonomo law go Sonomo. Now it makes Salon like a today. Now it make we country like a day. 60 years later, we still suffer. We still punish. People still pan starvation and hunger. It don't bad off. It don't worse. With people that will get responsibility for hold leaders accountable. Don't fail for holding leader and they accountable. Now make the country continue for go so. There is no way we can hold Marabio accountable for everything that has happened in 5 years without us holding Parliament accountable as well. Because Parliament get the responsibility for checkmate everybody will happen. Two denomination and in the country today. We get two currency. Old Leons, new Leons. Not talk about Marabio one green duam. The parliaments duam. The leaders of the opposition in parliament and duam. You talk about Kande Yimkela. You talk about Onibucheri Koko. Every individual member of parliament, they're responsible for them. Two currency in the country today like today. We get the even set to the international the airport. Now two named by that airport today. Freetown International Airport, Suma Airport. You go back to Juba Hill, the Juba Bridge. That Juba Bridge in Juba Bridge in Shenga Pier. Two. All of these things go inside parliament. All the bad laws that were passed. There is no way you go. If you blame Marabio, you don't go blame the leader of the opposition of APC. What do with the put premise on the APC leader of the opposition? Because you get 59 members of parliament. And when you get 59 members of parliament, it means you get more than 20% of the members of parliament. You know?
When we talk about the airport, so one crucial thing we fail for realize now the fact that the people that complain now say, hey, plane not begin coming to the airport and all that. Ibrahim, remember, Turkey is a semi-rogue state. Although you know you want to make us say semi-rogue state. So, like, and this guy, a convicted criminal in a way. So you want to tell me, say this guy with a control we airport to, like international airline and go trust them for all certain sensitive information about them. Probably go know all about the security risk we contain in this guy running we own airports, the international airports, Ibrahim. It's a very important thing where people are try for kind of like we they ignore, but it is very. You see people they make videos say, oh, they don't start for use this the airports and all that in because the risk inside it for make airline them release certain security sensitive information them. So this Turkish guy. Ibrahim, it's a real call for concern.
Now, crucial point, Danny. We got for take on that issue there by itself, but today. We just want to keep everybody in hanging because we know so all going to expect say we can't talk about this whole thing. Hey, well, what's going to say about this running mate issue? We position still stand the same. We wish APC well as a political party for able to take the reins of power and get rid of the Marabio government. But again, with these kinds of appointments, you look at people that were responsible for kick these guys out. They don't do their job all these years. And now they go do them. So we wait for CEO how the campaign get for day, how the campaign skill get for day. And again, we say this one thing. Not for dinner, you want for take power, but you know what they call your name. You don't continue for the seek higher heights in political office, but when they call your name, all they cry foul. No, you take responsibility. The responsibility comes with the fact that people get to hold you accountable. And so you wait on for be a member of parliament. You don't run for be a running mate now. You want to be vice president. You're going to be held accountable. We know they left you. And Marabio, regardless of what in the SLPP don't do something like it today, and no matter how corrupt the APC government will get for win the next election by God in power 2023, June 24, we go win that election, they then kind of power. No matter how they try for protect the SLPP government, we no go accept them, we no go agree, we'll continue for hold them foot to the fire, because then people that will die soon as Salon, then go get justice. The McKinney massacre, the Paremba Road prison massacre, Tombo, Lonsar, all of this. When a leader of the opposition today, when they don't make a running mate, not ever get a strong grounds for hold on them matter there, for make sure say bring justice to them people there. But we feel say if SLPP come on power, when the APC go take over by God in power June 25th, 24th. Well, the 25th, now we'll get the results, hopefully. When the APC go take power, Dr. Samura Kamara become president, Jericho could become the vice president. We want for ensure, say, we will make sure, say, we hold them people there, they foot the fire, for them to bring justice to every Sierra Leonean at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, we don't talk, we will continue for talk, and we'll continue for stay on the side of history, for the history and posterity join we, and we go make sure, say, when June 25th come, but co-analysis will not analyze the like today, because this we just can't talk to her, they want to know how we stand. But after June 25, when the election results will not be announced, we get a lot more analysis for do, but we reserve them for now. We got for focus on societal issues. What's the money we now na people in life, Sierra Leoneans them. When you look at our sister in Lebanon now, the one in the what to for do for continue for call everybody attention, all come and gather the resources together. Societal issues, we healthcare system, how the hospital and they now in the money we now go for the focus on now. The water crisis in the country, people not get water, the electricity, now that's go for the talk about for continue for call the attention of the government and everybody else for come and make sure say. But the campaign of the APC as a political party, of course, we don't get a very strong running mate, powerful figure. You get for take across that country, they for call out Madabio, you get for bring all the publication of the Africanist press, one after the other, for points them out, say for 5 years, and nobody talk, now they don't pull all me strength, because what's really happening in this country, not go correct. Look at the publications, look at the thinking of the president, that I running mates, you go for see where the campaign across Sierra Leone, the length and breadth of Sierra Leone, for tell people them, the bad thing that the SLPP do. But until then, if we not see him, we know say when I get what he take, for him for make sure say, Madabio, come on a power. And Madabio will go, but high for go until we address the 270,000 names. The first 2% reduction in the population of Freetown, Western Urban. And then we get them people for register with young brother and sister and move for turn 18 by June 24. And not go for easy for them to go. Now they don't postpone the ID card them for go pick them up. Take a fast month. Like we come the coach talker. Take fast months. So they go pick on a voter ID card them. Then they back safe. We know say it's mad with confusion. For the first time in Salon history, we see now 15 days, then split up the voter registration. The Tawoga Rebel won 1996, where people live for travel across the country. People register simultaneously across the country, concurrently across Sierra Leone, the same time, everybody register. For the first time, we get the leader of the opposition, Honorable Cheno Majuba, one of the running mates of the APC today, is Sidon will register for only 15 days here and there. They say it's okay. Now the manner that we go if we go dance with the registration, but we don't make a flag running mates of the APC party today. So Salon people, there is a lot of questions. We all confused. But we'll continue for watch and we'll continue for analyze the issues. How will they go? We get for whole leaders accountable. Not in a politics thinking so we're not going for calling them. No, we're going, they be in this, then they be in that. You didn't politics. Come on at the position. If you're not in that position, we're not to see you. Now you don't go for running mate for become a vice president. Huh? We have more responsibility and would hold you accountable. Comrade Kashi, brother Africanist Press, we are coming on a closer for we. Now move on with this message, and tomorrow will be another day.
Yeah, let me just follow up with what you say there in closing. Mr. Kwan for Ad say, our work continues. Basically, that me one for remind. The work of the Africanist Press preceded Cherikuku as a politician. It preceded Madabio as president. Then it got for continue. It got for continue after Madabio as well. So regardless of the outcome of the elections, regardless of how the election turned out, we definitely go continue for see more. Now, what are we going to publish leading forward? Would definitely the same pattern, the same corruption we will publish. It got for continue. We will still keep for calling on people there for take their ID cards. The vote is your right. You get the right for vote. You get the right for get an ID card. No surrender. You slip to anybody if you don't get your voter ID. That one there, I want to make we amplify that particular message. Now, regarding the APC and its current ticket, they go for show me how different they are with from Madabio. It's It's not, we all don't campaign against dictatorship of the Madabio regime. We have to see what the APC and Jerry Koko in particular for Showi as a mark of difference when it comes to deciding between the ticket of the SLPP and the ticket of the APC. So as the question of corruption stands, we still live below 25% of the corruption of the Madabio regime, and we'll continue for publish. Moving forward, we will continuously show more evidence of corruption, including the bank statements, including transaction details as we used to. And this is a practice we will continue. So nothing is going to stop. And we will continuously encourage each and everyone who has been speaking to continuously speak out against corruption, speak out against injustice by the government. And I still have a comment with that. You guys have done tremendously well. The truth, as I keep saying, does not require a crowd. It just requires a few committed men and women who want to speak that truth and stand by it at every given moment. We are on the correct side of history and we will not give up.
Absolutely. All right. Comrade. All right. We don't lost Comrade there. Kashi.
Yeah, with me, your last message is this. No matter what, we believe in Samoa Kamara being the next president is unfaded. And we will continue for stand and, hopefully, as China say, what is the difference between waiting we currently get and waiting with the hope forget? However, maybe it's a time waiting with the hope forget, go don't learn a lesson. Like waiting comedy can get like the two of like the lesser evil of the two. So, like maybe the hope where we get, surely they go don't learn say, like the people don't become aware we need to protect them. However, like the worrying signs that the fact that that go to where say that you get for truth, not allow make it go inside poto. If say realistically you're fighting against corruption, yes, for don't kind of like begin to stand up against corruption. And Ibrahim, always me to say Naya, and the other thing I get for say, politicians, typical politicians, would never, I repeat, never like us. Because the political industry is the fastest way to make money. And it look like I said, they don't think, say, oh, that guy there, if they come, they will come put your eye on this industry and they would not like it. But you guess what, Ibrahim? We are here, for like waiting comrade can they say, now marathon with the run. This is not a sprint. Thank you very much, everybody.
Absolutely. Salon people who left on air, we wish the APC party very well in the upcoming elections on June 24th, because we know say the APC could come and help Salon people them for pull them and the sofa. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. We'll come to on back later.